Q&Asa. Game on Daily. Q&Asa. Game on Daily. Q&Asa. Game on Daily.
It is 10 o'clock. Welcome to the sunny, funny one they call Q&Asa. Welcome. You've all been here before. You all know how this show works. Apparently I don't. I've lost my chat window already. Move this over somewhere nice and convenient so that I can see who's here, who's ready to talk. I can see Patrick's name. It's going to be a good show because Patrick always gives me good little back and forth. Saitam is here. Oh, Gams is here. He's managed to take some time off of Brotato. Slipspace Games, Isla Eradication. Pete, Alex, Tom, Chronic. Wow, there's a bunch of names. I can't keep scrolling. There's not. I've scrolled too far. I've scrolled into a previous stream entirely. So, how's everybody doing today? Late. Shut your face, Alex. Shut your face. Bollocks. Wanker. All that stuff, you know. This is Q&Asa. So, if you're new to this channel, which quite a few people are, you might have seen some of the podcasts, you might have seen some of the live streams. This show is a bit different. This is just a big conversation. So I talk to you, you talk to me, you talk to each other. It just goes back and forth, talking games and everything in between. Blake Carter, have I finished Elden Ring? Look, don't judge me. Don't judge me. But no, not yet. We'll talk a little bit about Elden Ring in a bit. We will talk about it in a bit. Some people here will already know exactly how far I have or haven't got in Elden Ring. You can see a little bit of the edge of my green screen there. That's no good. There we go. Tidy. So what we do is we have this conversation. If you feel like it's all too crowded and you're not getting your words in and you're unhappy for whatever reason, you've got other options. You can... Why are my hands massive? I don't think my hands are massive. In this scene, they look relatively normal. I've got a pretty big microphone in front of me. Yeah, so if you're saying things like this and you're not wildly distracting me in the way that usually happens, you can make sure that you get my attention with a super chat. That always works. You can stick all of the money that you have into a super chat, and I'll see it and read it out. But you don't have to do that. It's not Immortals of Avium, no, Joe. You can also pop anything that you like into the Q&A box. It's called a Q&A box. It stands for questions and answers, but you don't need to use it like that. You can stick whatever you want in there. By the end of the show, I go through all of those one by one. It's not even selective. We go through every single one on a Q&A, so I will look at them all and talk about them all and not necessarily answer them all. You've also got the most exciting option that nobody ever wants to use is Discord. If you want to get your face and or voice onto the internet, you can jump on Discord, have a couple of minutes to tell people a story, tell them, ask them a question, whatever you want really. It's Discord and you have a voice and you can use it as you see fit, more or less, within reason. And that's how this show works. So without further, let's get on with it, eh? Joe, yes, it is Elden Ring. Patrick, yes, it is Elden Ring. Most people have identified the background. I don't know what made me think of Elden Ring today as a suitable background. To answer your question, Blake, on have I finished it, it's a long time since I played it, so I could be wrong. But I potted around, did various things in Elden Ring, and I saw a guy riding a horse with a three-headed flail, like a nightmare flail of some kind. And I decided I must have that because I really like flails. Alex, you were already a member. What's happening? Thank you for renewing, Alex. It is appreciated. I saw this guy on a horse with a flail and I went, right, flails. I love flails in all games. I have to have it. So I got the flail. The flail required a dexterity build. I didn't have a dexterity build at all. So I held the flail in my pocket and I grinded for a while to respec my character so that he could use it, just because I liked the look of it. Heretical comment. Best announcement in gaming today since the announcement of Elden Ring. Wait, what comment was heretical? I've said loads of stuff. I like to be a heretic. But anyway, no, I didn't quit 20 minutes in Gamsley. I played it and played it and played it. I respec'd, got my flail, wandered the world with my flail for a while, killed a few players with my flail because I enjoyed it. But then I went, what am I doing? I'm lost. I'm completely lost. I've not fought a significant boss for a while. I've killed a few players. I've gone into some scary looking places. I've gone underground a bunch of times. I've explored parts of the map. but I don't know how to get into this like mage school or whatever it is. And I can't remember what's going on. I know what I'll do. I'll wait for the ray tracing update and come back to it. So I left it to the side because the PC version has quite spotty performance anyway, or it did when it came out. It had random drops in frames at times you wouldn't expect. So I thought, I'll put it at the side, come back to it when they've got their ray tracing update, when they've sorted out the performance, and then I'll crack on through it. And then it's behind the dragon to the east of the school. Interesting. I thought I had to get some kind of key from someone. I had like a treasure map that I was supposed to follow with a picture of an island. But anyway, yeah, the glintstone key, that's the one. Thank you, Goat Status. Status. So, yeah, it's been on my list of things to do to get back to it because I was really liking the game. A bit like some of the bosses are repeated in ways that I got bored of the guy on the boat sailing around on the grass on his little rowboat. I fought him too many times. But it wasn't going badly or anything. I didn't stop because I got to a sticking point where I was like, oh, I can't get through this. It's too difficult. I just paused and forgot to... Why say... Which one's correct, Gamsley? Status or status for you? I actually don't know the English, American, Canadian divide on that one. Tony, it's likely in the dragons behind. That's where I would hide a glint keystone, whatever it is. Glintstone key. And most other things. No, Lucius, that doesn't help me in any way whatsoever. I appreciate it. I knew someone would do that. The first one, I can't remember what I said. It's hopeless. We're never going to know the answer. Never. So we'll move swiftly on from that. Tell me more. So I've told you a little bit about a game that I'm not playing. I did, like so many other people, I imagine. That doesn't help either, Gamsley. That doesn't help either. Status, I'm going to assume. So, I did download Elden Ring. I'm sure a bunch of people downloaded Elden Ring because there was the official trailer / announcement for the Shadow of the Erdtree expansion that's coming in June, right? So, much like when Death Stranding 2 had its trailer, people went, oh, I need to play Death Stranding now. Elden Ring had a trailer for upcoming content. I'm sure a bunch of people downloaded it today. I am one of those people. It is installed. It is ready to go. I will bring out my... Morbo Toad, he's called. He's part Morbo, part Hypnotoad. Very ugly character, but he has a 3-headed flail. And he can wreck stuff, hopefully. So I'm gonna bring that out, and I'm gonna carry it on. I'm gonna find my way into the little mage school, and I'm gonna kill everyone in there, unless they're friendly, in which case I'll probably still kill them. No, Tony, we're not going into that. Gamsley... I'll say schedule when you say potato sucks ass. Deal? Deal. Oh shit, I just said it. Okay, that means you have to say that potato sucks ass now because we had a deal. Dave Mack, sorry for putting you to sleep already, but thank you for stopping by. It is appreciated. I will catch you in the near future, I'm sure. Tell me more about what you've all been playing. You know how it works. This is how the show always starts. Tell me what you've been playing. Tony, you already had Remnant 2 downloaded. You cheated, you played it with a dog. Gamsley, I can't believe you have walked back on our deal and betrayed me like this. Already, it took mere moments. Final Fantasy Rebirth come out on the 29th of February. Am I ready to play it day one? So that's a good question, actually, Alex. I really intended to play Final Fantasy Remake through again before Rebirth came out. And then I was looking at it the other day and I thought, hang about. I'm going to go through this exact same thing when Part 3 comes out. I'm going to be like, oh, I need to play Parts 1 and Part 2 to get up to speed. So I decided, no, actually, I should play, though. I should play Crisis Core before Rebirth comes out. Really freaking want to play that when it comes out. I've been told I'm not allowed to buy any Nintendo games, but I haven't been told I'm not allowed to buy any Final Fantasy games on the PlayStation, so maybe I can sneak that one in. Thoughts on the death of Xbox? Oh, I don't want that to happen. Patrick! Thank you, Patrick. Patrick is carrying a lot of memberships at the moment, because he's frequently doing these bundles of 5 gifts. If you're not taking full advantage of it, please do. The Discord that gives you access to, is a nice place. You should get on in there. There's a link in the description for the video. Hit that. Link your YouTube account to your Discord account, and you'll see all the fun that we have over there. You'll get access to the Power World servers and the Zomboid servers and the Enshrouded servers and all of this kind of stuff. It's a good place, and you'll get to listen to Tony's jokes and see his memes. Some of them are quite good. Lots of crackles and sizzles. And all of the abuse, you'll get to hear Gamsley flail about going, potato's not terrible. And nobody believes him, but it goes on. Discord, the abuse in Discord is not ruthless. It's actually a really nice place. Abuse is kind of not allowed there. Tony also bought some of the merchandise today. Tony ordered the special hoodie from the Tony collection, the Tonio collection, which is very nice. Eradication, you downloaded both Tales of Arise and Return to Grace. What's Return to Grace? Even though you've said that, I'm going to bring up the trailer for Tales of Arise instead. That's jumped way higher on my list of things to play. I've actually had it installed on the Xbox Series X since pretty much the day it came out, but I haven't started it yet. Because I suck. I suck at finding time to play the games. And now Tales of Arise is on Game Pass and on PlayStation Plus, either this week or next. I can't remember exactly when it drops, but it's everywhere. Everyone has access to Tales of Arise, and it's supposed to be pretty good. I don't normally love the Tales games. I played... Was it Vesperia that I played? Which was okay, and then I went back to Zestiria, which is supposed to be a really good one, and I didn't think that much of it. And I have the one that begins with B. I'm not sure they do all entirely right, but I've got them down as Vestiria, Zestiria, Bestiria, and Arise. Bestiria one I've got, but never played either. But Tales of Arise looked good. And it has DLC incoming. So, Tales of Arise, launch trailer, so everyone knows what we're talking about. Restore pages, fuck you, YouTube. And I said no, fuck you. Sorry, I resolved to not swear in quite so much. And here I go. Arise is the best Tales yet. That's what I need to hear, Sideswimmer. That's enough to... It's on my list. I have it installed. I'm going to play the damn thing. Scarlet Nexus is the only JRPG you've played any time semi-recently. I don't think Scarlet Nexus counts as a JRPG, really. It's very Japanese in its stylings, but it's much more an action game, isn't it? I didn't like Scarlet Nexus. The Xbox Series podcast hoodie. Is there not one already? Do you know what, Gamsley? There will be more stuff coming. There's potential for more interesting hoodies as well, I think. So I'm going to have a look. Sweat Incubator, that's the name of the hoodie. Yes, some of them... Tony's one's not called a Sweat Incubator, but yes. Anyway, that's Tales of Arise. So some of you are going to be getting on that. And you said, what was the Grace one called? I need to find out. I'm going to get rid of this trailer. And I'm going to scroll over here. It was... Pete, a sci-fi adventure. Simple, good voice acting. You enjoyed it. Then it was on Game Pass. Is this the Grace one? Replicant, Tales of Arise is one of your favourite JRPGs. Please tell me some of your other favourite RPGs so that I can tell what that means. So I can get like a... you know, a sense of what your taste in JRPGs actually is. Return to Grace. Official launch trailer, not from some shitheads. Going with this one on the off chance that it's the publisher, but I'm not sure that it is. So, it is not, because they wouldn't put a big glowy dumbass thumb over a trailer, would they? I hate channels that just upload trailers and claim them as their own content. I hate them so much that I'm not even going to watch this. I'm going to come off of it. I'm going to give them a dislike. Fuck your channel. You suck. Lazy excuse for content. So Replicant. The Tales of Arise expansion. I didn't actually know that was out yet. So the expansion came out 5 months ago, didn't it? I did know. Arise you're going to talk about on the Xbox Series podcast tomorrow. Good. I won't have played it by then. I won't have played it by then, and I won't have played the extra 5 Halo maps by then as well. Because there isn't time. Tony, you're the treasurer of Asa money. Not enough money yet. Need to work the corner a little harder. Well, maybe, Tony, maybe. Patrick, it's everything. The Extreme Boys Sus podcast. It's not wrong, it's not wrong. Give me more games while I try and think of another one that I've played. I have played... Oh, Granblue Fantasy Relink looks awesome. I really want to play that. That's like... I guess I'll bring up a trailer for that one as well. That's a game that has evolved the Phantasy Star formula in the way that it was supposed to evolve. So rather, like, it doesn't look like Phantasy Star. It doesn't necessarily feel like Phantasy Star, but it's how that genre or subgenre or whatever should have evolved. It should have gone into that direction. And I say this without having played Relink, so I could be completely off the mark, but it looks good. I think it's character driven though, isn't it, rather than create your own hero. You've been playing The Ascent, Nightingale, Outriders, and Tony and you tried to play A Way Out, but the invite system is bad. Interesting. That's quite a lot of games. I know that you were playing most of those. I didn't know that you tried to play A Way Out. Were you trying to stream it anywhere? For the crowd? Gamsty, don't know, because that's going to stick if you're not careful. It is character driven. I'm finding the trailer for it. Wait there. Wait there. Have you... Is any of the rest of the Granblue series interesting? I played a little bit of the fighting game that released, like, I don't know, a couple of years ago. But that wasn't very interesting, really. Granblue Fantasy Relink. And I don't actually know anything about it as a series. No, I searched Bing instead of YouTube. This is the worst day ever. Hang on, hang on, hang on. No, it's all going wrong. These aren't trailers. Maybe I can claim some Microsoft reward points for my error. Get a bit of the free Game Pass or whatever, you know. Oh no, don't do it, FTW. Pete, when you take a long look, you know what the casings are? Hang about. Hang about. Anyway, Replicant, have you found people to play it with, or are you playing it alone? Because it just looks good as a co-op like action game. I'd rather it was build your own character and play forever kind of thing, but it still looks good. Not done any multiplayer missions yet. Wait for me, I'm going to have it one day. When am I realistically going to get onto it? Doesn't matter, I'm going to. I played this week, obviously a bunch of stuff that you know about because I streamed most of it. I played like Rocket League and Forza. We got up to, I think, 12, maybe 13 people on Forza at the weekend, so that was cool. That was good fun, even if it went terribly badly. And I played a little bit of Power World, a little bit of Vampire, which I've already talked about on some podcasts and things. We can talk about it more if you want to. If you want to hear about Vampire, you say, I want to hear more about Vampire, and we'll talk about it. But it was all live and it is on the channel. And I played Enshrouded. YouTube is purposely crashed as you get forced to pay for premium. Yeah, that'll teach you, Tony. Premium's good for YouTube. Not shilling. Get an ad blocker if you want. What do I care? I hear everything, probably. Am I still enjoying Vampire? So Replicant, I started it again because I like it. I started it again because I wanted to stream it and I wanted to play it on hard mode. And I haven't got any further than I was, but yes, I still enjoy it. It was quite an awful stream. I died on the tutorial enemies, so That's probably worth it. Banishers is better. It might be, Gamsley. I very much want to play Banishers as well. Have you been playing Banishers? Or are you just trying to prove, like, flex your knowledge that you know the same people made it? Because I'm not impressed, Gamsley. Tell me you're playing it. Tell me it's good. Episode 13, you best sleep. Busy day tomorrow. You need the sleep. You best pop some questions in before you go. Need some episode 13 questions, or the show won't conclude properly. Alex, you've been playing The Banisher. It's very slow, and the story progression is based on your decisions and banishing ghosts and resurrection for getting more clues by solving murder cases. Yeah, Vampire has that kind of pacing as well. Like big gaps between action, lots of talky bits. But I like it so far. So, from what I gather from listening to ACG, Banishers is every bit as good as Vampire in terms of the conundrums you're presented with and the depth to the characters and choices. So I'm definitely going to play that one as soon as I can, alongside Relink, alongside pretty much every game that we talk about today. I'm going to say I really want to play that. It's going to happen soon. And in those statements, I'm as accurate as all the other influencers that you shouldn't listen to. Don't listen to me. I'm lying. I'm not going to play any of these things. What I want doesn't matter. Damn, we're going to play all of them. And I played on my VR. I've been back on my treadmill for the first time in a little while, right? Because I've been so busy setting up podcasts and things that I forgot. I got an expensive VR setup, which I was supposed to use today, actually. Flaked out of that one. I was supposed to have an afternoon. Patrick, it's not a snowman mug. It's a ghost mug. Snowman. What are you talking about? It's freaking February, Patrick. This is a spooky ghost. Snowman mug. That's ridiculous. Put me off now. You always feel Don't Nod are underrated. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely look at their games and find things to pick holes in and criticize, because of course you can. Of course you can. Alex, do I play Brotatoes? I have played way more Brotato than I should have done. Way more Brotato than I should have done. I should have stopped at the moments before pressing install. But I didn't. I installed it. I played it a bit. I hated it. Gamsley insisted there's a good game in there. So I went, right, give it a fair shot. A fair shot. Play it. Uncover whatever this game has to offer so that I can form like a fair opinion on it rather than just dismissing it after 10 minutes of hating it. So I gave it a fair shot. And nothing happens in that game. Nothing ever happens. It's the most boring game since Tetris. In Tetris, you know that nothing's going to happen, but it's quite a compulsive loop, and eventually in Tetris you're going to get overwhelmed and you're going to lose. That's the event. That's the thing that happens in Tetris. That doesn't happen in Brotato. You just... nothing happens. And then you get to the end and it's like, you can do it again if you want. No, I don't want to do it again. PSI, we don't do the Xbox here. We don't talk in silly terms, because when you reduce things down to Xbox and ponies, you're picking imaginary arguments that are just easy to win. So Xbox taking the L's today. Do I think Gaz is crying with reality here? No, Gaz enjoys the console war side of thing, but it doesn't hurt his feelings, no. Afraid not. Some of the others, some of his associates, they seem genuinely pained when things go wrong. Gaz just sees it as an opportunity for more jokes. Good 10 minutes since I went off on Tetris. I very rarely go off on Tetris because I'm actually not even going off on Tetris. I'm saying that Tetris has a lot going for it. There's a reason it's so beloved. Main reason is that games didn't exist back then, really, so like, it was very novel and new. But yeah, Rotato doesn't have that benefit. Always going off on Tetris. I never go off on Tetris. I have said that Tetris Connect I'm not a massive fan of. Still quite expensive as well, Tetris Connect. Passive aggressive. Yeah. See, episode 13 likes it, and he's never even played it properly. Tetris connected on a TV is like, this is just Tetris with some colour. You gotta play it in VR, so it's at least evolved into something exciting. Yeah, you run away, episode 13. Passive aggressive Tetris. No, Joe. No, Joe. Anyway, what else? We're still on games, aren't we? Is that still the topic? Oh, do you know what? I've just realised I didn't plan any topics at all. So fortunately, I've got all of you here because you've got all the topics lined up, haven't you? What's our first topic, everyone? Eiley, you play Pokemon forever. I should play Pokemon. I should. Minecraft. Yeah, let's do that as our first topic, eh? That makes a change. Did anybody see Minecraft? Who has played Minecraft? Minecraft it sits in a weird place because it's like Xbox's biggest IP, but the Xbox crowd don't typically acknowledge or talk about it. But I saw that it has the Bedrock edition, the cross-platform, like mainline easy access edition, has official mod support now through its marketplace with like money involved and all the rest of it. But Gamsley played Minecraft. I think episode 13 played Minecraft. Isla obviously still plays Minecraft. I think Saitama has played some. So there's a bunch of people here that do actually have a little Minecraft history, right? Not so much me. I have played it a bit. But it's never really been my kind of game because I don't have the patience to build things. And survival games have never quite... Until very recently, survival games have never quite got me going. Tearground knockoff for kids. It definitely came before Teardown. But I don't know, I haven't looked into the details fully to see if the mods and things can just be installed onto a realm without everyone having to pay for them and all the rest of it. But it makes me think, hang about, this server could be fun if I mod in some dragons and furniture or whatever. So that's an interesting development. People have to ask if they would actually be interested in playing that at all, though, because I don't really want to get a bunch of servers that nobody actually gives any shits about. That was the first bit of news anyway. There's still time. Minecraft will last forever. Yeah, it's not going anywhere, is it? But the the official mod support presumably means because they're vetted, they are created by the community, but they're vetted by Mojang rather than just shoved on the store for compatibility and all the rest of it. Much like Bethesda and ZeniMax have creator club content on Skyrim and stuff like that, which means that it should persist and work through updates well into the future. So you can stick it all on a server and be comfortable that server should last, which, as you know, is a key ingredient to the servers that I like to set up for the community. Things that you can rely on. So all the stuff you put into it, building and such, is not gonna suddenly disappear. When you get a VR stream, Alex, it was supposed to be today and I flaked away. Couldn't bring myself to stream in the afternoon, which means the next one, I actually don't know when the next one is. There'll definitely be a couple next week. I'm just not sure if there's any coming this week in the meantime. Story mode was decent, except the YouTuber cameos. Gross. I don't know anything about these YouTuber cameos, and I don't want to because they sound disgusting. Should create a CS2 server. Problem with that, Gaming with Passion, again, I'm not saying no to that, but our community isn't big enough to sustain frequent multiplayer games. I'd like to have that. I'd like to have Quake 3 Arena Pancake VR cross-compatible modded servers as well. But I do need to have enough people to actually populate them for a game like that. Like Power World and Enshrouded and things like that is less critical because if no one's around you can still go on and play it and have fun. But you can't go on and play Counter-Strike without full teams. So we'll see. We'll see. Watch the community grow, and when it can sustain more types of server, I will very happily set them up. I like them as a perk of the Discord and the membership and all of that kind of stuff. Something I can actually give back properly. Chronic, you spent a day in the Power server and no one else logged in. You took it personally. I see, you didn't even tell anyone. Powered and Enshrouded are both... the good news is Chronic as well. I am keeping those servers up, so put your day in. Talk about it on the Discord, and I'm sure people will join you. They're all still enjoying that game. There's still plenty to do on it. Tom, when is he going to watch any of the streams that he requests? Well, I do kind of ignore all of Alex's requests, so he'll have a hard time finding them to watch. But yes. Which game would I like to revisit to finish? All of them, Alex. And like Elden Ring is an obvious one because we were talking about it 20 minutes ago. I need to finish Arizona Sunshine. I need to finish Vampire. I need to finish Cyberpunk. I need to finish... I don't need to finish Forspoken. That game was quite boring. I need to finish the Deerfield Chronicle. Not super enjoying that one, but I feel like I should get it out of the way before moving on to my next RPG. There's a lot. See, Patrick wants to play Chronic. He was just at work. Underrated quest game. I'm not actually that well positioned to answer that because I don't play much native quest stuff. I think like there are things like table tennis is brilliant on the Quest, but I wouldn't say it's underrated because a lot of people are aware that it's brilliant. We've been doing some walkabout mini golf. Dungeons of Eternity was a good bit of fun, but not for broadcast. It's not underrated. That's the thing. Like, not a lot of people have played not for broadcast though, so it's, you can call it like unrecognized, but not necessarily underrated because the people that have played it do like it a lot. Well, there'll be another Helldivers 2 stream very soon. Alex, I'm not going to commit to streaming it until it works because I can't go live on a stream and then find that nobody can connect to play. So I played Helldivers 2 a couple of days ago. Yesterday? I played Helldivers 2 yesterday with Connor, General C. And it took like 20 minutes of just sitting there waiting to get on the server before we got on. Then we had a little play and it was fun enough. But until it's actually reliable, there's not much point in me committing to streaming it. You've heard good things about Pacific Drive. I still wish Pacific Drive, yeah, gaming with passion. From the trailers, Pacific Drive looks like it's destined to be a VR game, but I don't think it actually is. I don't think you do much driving in the storms. I don't think that's the kind of game it actually is, so maybe not so much. Nonetheless, I'd like a game where you just drive through extreme weather conditions. It can be like American Truck Simulator for all I care. Just give me extreme weather and I'd have a good time there. You're out of your comfort zone cooking salmon here. Tom, for me there's no good outcome here because salmon's disgusting. I hope you like it more than I do. Eradication, you genuinely don't know how I play so many games at the same time. Clearly I don't. Like, the list of things that I haven't finished is a disaster. Does it not give me backlog anxiety having so many incomplete games? Yes. It's like... Sometimes I have time to play a game and then I don't use that time to play a game because there are too many games and I can't figure out which one I should be playing. It is really, truly, genuinely difficult. Like, it's just decision paralysis. There is so much. I'd much rather I had a lot more time to properly play through games and get to the end of them. There was a point where I'd had like a VR for 4 or 5 years and hadn't actually finished any of the games because I just jumped between everything, jump between them. And by the time I do go back, like Half-Life Alyx I haven't finished. I've started that game on like 4 separate occasions. Because each time I play it a few sessions in a row and then I get distracted and then I have to start again because I can't really remember what I'm doing. Yeah. Death Stranding is my game for extreme weather. No, but I need VR extreme weather. Helldivers is also a good one for extreme weather. Gamsley, I don't like salmon. What's your problem? I haven't tried it with maple syrup, so maybe I'm doing it wrong. Forza every Sunday has some extreme weather, but it doesn't have the VR. I need it. What's a AAA game that I think would work extremely well in VR? Better question, JS. What's a AAA game that wouldn't work well in VR? There are very few of them. Almost everything actually works really well in VR with just a little care and attention. Almost everything works well. Drive Club did have good weather effects. Exaggerated fancy cinematic weather effects, but it would have been nice. Cyberpunk works well in VR. It would. The mods aren't quite right for it. That's a good example of a AAA game that should be playable in VR. Starfield. Obviously the menus aren't ideal. Like loading in VR is more of a problem than it is in Pancake, but Starfield has everything in it. It has those physical properties that you need for a proper VR conversion. So all of the stupid like dining trays and polystyrene boxes and sandwiches and things, you could stack them in piles with your hands and it would work so well. As well as obviously flying a spaceship and exploring the planets and like licking the robots or whatever it is that people do. There are lots of loading screens. And that would be a VR problem, but still, there's so much in it. Like Skyrim is still phenomenal in VR. So with the right attention, Starfield could be an incredible one as well. Speaking of Alex, you were thinking The Last of Us could work really well for VR. It would have been, could have been, would have been, should have been a PSVR 2 system seller. Yeah, definitely. Like even if they kept it third person, it would still be great. Like third person works fine in VR. Obviously first person would make more sense. So long as you could conquer the Abbey flop without motion sickness. You've been mucking about on Star Citizen. That would work very well in VR once it launches. I think they had previously spoken about that being something they intended to tackle, but when you're crowdfunding and you set your goals, you're going to say yes to just about everything, right? So whether they're sincere in that or whether it's a thing that passed when the fad passed, I don't know. Yes, the VR fad has largely passed amongst big publishers and stuff. Space Denizen, how's it going? Speaking of VR, Space Denizen is all over it. Space Denizen, tell the people a hidden gem of a game on the Quest store. You're the person that will know. You'll have a good example. Baldur's Gate 3 would be great, especially after playing Moss. JS, I said so many times to so many people that don't care and don't listen, because why would they, that I would love to see a game like Baldur's Gate 3. It doesn't have to be Baldur's Gate 3, but a game like that from that perspective. Like a Japanese tactics RPG as well would be brilliant in VR. If you've played Demio, then you already know how well conceptually it works, controls and stuff, but Demio is very basic, very static little tabletop dungeons. Blow the scale up on that and do it with a full AAA RPG or Japanese RPG. Oh, it would be so good. So good. Joe, you're interested in that new poker game. Has anyone got that? I played Poker Stars back when it was called Poker Stars, and that was very, very good. I don't know which new poker game though. There's a bunch of poker games in VR. If you've got one that uses the newer headsets like face tracking and stuff, then that would be cool. Outer Hand. Outer Hand is your hidden gem. I don't know that game, so it is a hidden gem. Good answer. FCW, you still got to finish Baldur's Gate 3. I also still got to finish Baldur's Gate 3. We're progressing. We're near the end. We're at a point in that though where I know that I need to finish it, and that's taken away from the experience because I'm trying to push to the ending rather than engage with all of the side content properly. And there's a lot of side content in Act 3. The game seems to just open up again and give you loads to do, but I'm just not that interested in doing it. And that's a bit of a shame because the game kind of deserves better treatment than that. It's not going to get it though. I need it to finish. We're at the beginning of Act 3. There's a lot to do in Act 3 if you choose to do it. Right. Somebody give me the next topic for the day. We had Nintendo Direct. What a weird Q&Asa. We've gone from Minecraft to Nintendo. Who is this guy? Get him more on the screen. Isn't this fun and nice? So Nintendo Direct. 2 o'clock this afternoon it was. They had some stuff. Dodge. Replicant, you haven't watched it. Play the Nintendo Direct view. I can leave it on. Yeah, why not? Why not? Nobody wants to see the Elden Ring background anymore. I'll stick it on and we can yell things. It's got a game about unicorns that doesn't have unicorns. That's coming to every platform. What's it called? Unicorn Overlord. I want that. Dodge. Enshrouded is fun. Have you been getting into it? Have you got anybody else onto it? I think Enshrouded seems like it has a lot of potential. I've only played it for like a disastrous hour and a half or so. But I was impressed by what I saw of it. Balatro is the poker game. Do a trailer. It's not VR, but it looks interesting. Hold on, we'll do that first and then we'll do the Nintendo Direct. Balatro trailer. Coming right up. IGN game trailers. PlayStation. You're an official channel. You can have the trailer. Here is Balatro. This isn't a poker game. This is a poker game. What? What about this appeals to you? It's a poker-based roguelike from the looks of things. With lots of strange rule sets and weird things happening, as if poker doesn't actually stand alone as a game already. Like when you take chess, obviously poker and chess are very different, but when you take chess and you do altered rule sets to make it more exciting, and then invariably what you have is a less good game than chess. That's what this looks like, but for poker. Not for me, to be honest. I think the only thing that makes poker particularly good is the social element of it. So the step up that poker needs in VR is better capturing of faces so that you can communicate more naturally with people. I don't know, that game might have featured some multiplayer somewhere, but it wasn't in that trailer. Joe, you like poker? You've never seen anything like that before and it reviewed well too. I like poker well enough. It's been a while since I played poker, and I've not done like proper gambling for significant amounts of money or anything like that, but poker's reasonably enjoyable, and Poker Stars in VR was actually really good because it was funny. It was poker without the ball ache of having to shuffle your own cards, and you had lots of little props and things that you could set up all over the table and just dick about, so it was very much just a social experience. Bill's days are numbered now that they've lost Tim Dog. I don't know what you two, like how you two have got onto Twitter stuff, but oh, I see, you haven't been sleeping at night. Guys, did you get someone playing it with you? Space Denizen, I've been playing Vampire and I should try it in UE VR at least once. My UE VR journey, I decided I'm going to wait for the, what's the tool called? Like Reticon or something? I don't know what it's called, but somebody is, oh, you're playing with Chris Grinnell, good dodge. Somebody is putting together like a mod management tool that pulls in profiles and things automatically for games that work well with it. So I figured I'm just going to wait. Play it lazy. When I can say, I open this tool and say, like, use the vampire profile, I'll play that in first person, please. Then I'll give it a go. Because UEVR is very interesting. It is. Alex, which one would I suggest first? Final Fantasy Rebirth or Dragon's Dogma 2? I actually think Final Fantasy first. Dragon's Dogma 2 is, I think, probably the game of the year, best thing ever. But Final Fantasy has like a more, or I expect has more risk of being spoiled by letting other people tell you what happens. Whereas Dragon's Dogma, I think, will remain like open and exciting whenever you play it. Final Fantasy kind of demands getting ahead of the spoilers. Maybe Dragon's Dogma has a twisty-turny story that I'm not anticipating, but I don't think it's that kind of game in the same way. JS, have I seen the neural wristband for Quest? It's supposed to help with finger tracking. Not for sale, but an early concept. I haven't seen that. The finger tracking is not terrible on Quest already. I much prefer, typically for most experiences, I prefer to have a controller in my hand. And I like the buttons. Ray Power, that's the one. Thank you, Space Denizen. That's almost exactly what I said, but not at all what I said. Dart, you and Chris Grinnell play that Enshrouded. Don't get too far ahead. Now you can get too far ahead, but don't steal my wood and strings. I have nothing on that server that you can steal, so knock yourself out. Episode 13, you're chilling here on silent. Okay. Okay, good. One moment. I've just remembered that we were talking about Nintendo Direct. So most of you possibly haven't seen very much of it. I guess if you're stateside, it happened in the morning for you. And if you're UK and Europe, you may well have been out and about doing grown-up work things when that was on. But it did happen today. It was only 23 minutes long. So I'm just going to let it play. And maybe some interesting things to talk about will come up as we go. Dart, you're off now. You're going to jump back in tomorrow. Good. I mean, Zomboid is tomorrow, I think. Been playing Atomic Heart with UEVR. It's been amazing. Space Denizen, do you have to piss around with the profile for it very much? Or is it, like, once you've got it up and working, it's up and working for subsequent sessions as well? Because I wanted to do High on Life was the first game I was going to play on it. But High on Life had an issue where the guns and stuff have different strings every time you launch the game, so the profile wouldn't stick. Nintendo Direct opened, of course, with Grounded. This looks worse than it did when I watched it live, though. What kind of quality is this? No, this is just how it looks. Grounded being another survival game. Everyone's a survival game. This one obviously has a big publisher behind it, but it's not like a product of ambition and budget. It was made by a team of 20 for fun, kind of ahead of being acquired by Microsoft. So it is still essentially parallel with the many like indie small team survival games that dominate the market. What's going on? Darge is not going to sleep yet. Good, congratulations. JS, you didn't like Atomic Heart at all. You only played it for a couple of hours. But what didn't you like about it? Because if it was the weird, like, heavy controls, they won't apply in the same way in VR. More stuff's happening. The Land of Fumes. This game looked really interesting, but then it said, I'm a Metroidvania and you won't like me. And I said, that's true. You are a Metroidvania. I probably won't like you. And that was the end of my relationship with Ender Magnolia. So, Darge, you really liked Atomic Heart. I should VR Atomic Heart, shouldn't I? I think, so for me as well, having my VR treadmill, I actually think a lot of the pancake games converted into VR games will actually work better than a lot of native VR games. Because a lot of native VR replicants says, good night, Darge. Thank you for the super chats. As you know, much helpful. Or member chats, whatever they are. I don't even know, to be honest. I've got the wrong view up. But they are super chats. That's wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, a lot of VR games have quite stunted, limited movement speed to stop people from getting sick. And pancake games obviously don't have that issue. People don't get sick on those, so they let you run quite fast, which means on my treadmill, I should be able to run quite fast and have a nice time. So I should play a lot of things through UEVR. This game looks horrible. This game looks horrible. might be fine to play, but when you're trying to watch somebody else handle the movement, it's an eye fuck. I don't like it. I don't like this trailer. It's not enjoyable visual experience. So we'll skip that. The writing in Atomic Heart was horrendous. Maybe so. Replicant, it's on your backlog. It is on my backlog. But probably will be played in VR when I do. You helped Kicked Mouse and Donald Duck find their key. So you're just about to say that Atomic Heart feels too heavy even when it's reliant on dodging and timing. That could mean, depending on how the VR stuff manages to inject itself and hook into the gameplay, you might completely alleviate that by being able to move freely in VR. Or you might really suffer it with a bigger disconnect between real movements and in-game movements. We'll see though. It's supposed to work really well, so I'll try it. It's not hassle-free. You have to finagle some parts, and upgrade skills must be reloaded flat. Do it before injecting. High on Life was more hassle-free, but you play it with a gamepad and head tracking. So I want to play it with pow 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 pow, you know, motion controls. Also, when I went into High on Life, my character's arms were just sticking all over the place. So it needed some kind of profile. What's on the screen at the moment? Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter Stories from the 3DS. Coming to Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4 and 5 probably, maybe Steam, everything but Xbox. But no great loss for me personally. And then there was a Mickey Mouse game, rebrushed, remastered, remade, classic 3D platformer from the bowels of I don't care, because it's a 3D platformer and it's Mickey Mouse. He's not a character for me. Annoying mouse that makes annoying noises. Crispy fucking critters. That's your line, Chucky. Some of your best boss fights were in Atomic Heart. So you didn't find the controls heavy and clunky. What games have really good boss fights? Obviously all the Souls games and stuff. The Elden Ring trailer that they released today, we'll look at that after Nintendo Direct, but the Elden Ring stuff has really distinct, really weird bosses. Satsuma, since I'm a big VR fan, did I play the FromSoft VR game on PSVR? Did FromSoft have a VR game on PSVR? Is that the one that had the piano? No, I didn't have PSVR. I'm a massive VR fan that's massively vulnerable to VR motion sickness. And the PlayStation VR, much as I respect Sony for getting it working at all on the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation VR was a vomit box because of the limitations that it had in place with its camera-based front-facing tracking system. So I didn't have it and I didn't play anything on it. I had a 3-camera Rift setup instead that let me stand up and move around and spin and dance as I needed to not feel sick. Replicant, you like rigs on PSVR. PSVR definitely has some games that were interesting, and I'm not mad at Sony for not having fallback compat on PSVR 2, but I am mad that they haven't made more of an effort to specifically port key games, to bring forwards key games. They should have done more in that regard. Should have done more in terms of every regard since they released the headset. But there was a Shin Megami Tensei thing, whatever it's called. Don't know anything about those. The Nintendo Direct is just cracking through these trailers like bang, 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 bang. So I'm not actually getting an opportunity to look at them and talk about them. One thing's interesting though, the partner showcase. You spend one day talking to people telling you that Nintendo has no third-party support. They're going to need a more powerful Switch 2 because they have no third-party support. And then you watch a partner showcase, which is entirely third-party support. It's just not Assassin's Creed. They've got loads of third-party support. Of course they have, because they've got a massive player base spending money. And the whole of the Nintendo Direct seems to have a massive focus on like multiplayer. Loads of the games in there have both split screen and online multiplayer. And when they demo their multiplayer stuff, and they have like games with characters and names above them, they don't throw in jokes and online humor. They're just like, this is Mary and Ted and Ava and Grace, and they just have an array of real people names because that's the vibe they're going for on that console. Just go and play it with ordinary people, not no scope 360 XX funny name or whatever you'd see in the other kind of shows, you know. They know what they're doing. This South Park game looks terrible. Like, why would you deviate from a successful formula? There were good South Park games. Yeah, terrible's harsh, but it looks terrible. Dodge, one of the hardest boss fights you ever encountered was when you went to your mother-in-law's and told her that you were a changed man and good for her daughter. She was a bastard. You won, but you didn't win her over. You should have said, Dodge. Should have rung the bell, called for help. I wouldn't have helped you with that one. I don't. There's a High on Life profile of Flat to VR that you've watched a friend use. It looks solid. I'm going to look at it, Space Denizen, but the big problem with High on Life, like I say, was that the profile needed to be tweaked every single launch of the game. So if they managed to find a way around that, then I'm glad I waited, because it'd be very useful. Dodge did that boss fight with no summons at all, but he didn't come away with any loot. Or did he? I don't know. You're hoping that this Battlefront collection is a prelude to the new one on the way. Well, I shamefully don't know the history for Battlefront. I know that there were two games that were beloved, and then EA did the DICE ones, which some people liked, but broadly no. And the second one obviously had horrific monetization at launch, like loot box hell that caused massive fallout for them and changed the way that they delivered that game. Like, massive fallout for Battlefront 2, but everyone always looked back at the old Battlefronts and going, well, this is what we've lost because of EA's greed. This is what we've lost, and now it's back and you can play it. I'm not sure I particularly want to, but part of it though, part of it is Star Wars and Disney fatigue. There's just too much of it. It's made even the old stuff less appealing for me. Ferrocene, was that the From one? Interesting game, but sadly click turn and no teleport only. Oh, like Wilson's Heart. That was an interesting game on the Rift store that was teleport movement only. It was monochrome. It was like a black and white game in almost all senses, with occasional like high contrast burst features of colour. There used to be loads of VR games. Good times, good times. Here is a game about some goo. It looks quite neat. I'm not going to get it because I don't think I have time to play it, but it looks like a good fidget game. Not like Brotato, where you like, I regret spending any time on this. This looks like the kind of game you could fidget with and spend ages messing around with, solving little physics puzzles. Stuff happens, progress happens, things change, the game moves forwards. Not a game for you, Wayne. No, it's not a game for me either, because I don't think I have time for a fidget game, but I can at least like respect it and appreciate that if I did have time for it, I think I'd probably enjoy it, if that makes sense. Is it still Nintendo Direct? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Did they do Unicorn Overlord yet? I want Unicorn Overlord because I really... Oh, they did. They already shown it, I think. I want it, despite its silly name. I just want too many things. I can't even give you a solid reason for why I want it. I just do. Rotato could have been great if it launched 30 years ago. I mean, it's not even that. Like, Vampire Survivors did so much right and showed that you don't need fancy graphics to have fun. You don't need modern design. Potato just doesn't do it for me. But, you know, a lot of people love it. A lot of people love it. I should try Rollerdrome. It's better than Potato. I already instantly believe you just by having not tried it. Because even in the trailers for Rollerdrome, I can tell you more happens in that game. Definitely. Yeah, why not? I should try it. It's just, it's so hard to find the time. This game surely just looks like Animal Crossing with time travel. I don't know. One crab's trash, another crab's treasure, or whatever it is. Souls like cartoony crab game. Meh. I swear this has been on its way for months and months and months. I was surprised to see it seems fully voice acted despite, you know, looking like that. Again, much better game than Potato, I reckons. That's like a very low benchmark. Oh, I'm so disrespectful to Potato. It's not my fault. Can't lie about it. You got the loot, your 2 offsprings in her life, and on her walls forever. Good, Dodge. Good. Is Potato even a game? It definitely qualifies as a game. I can give it that. Like, if they do an accolades trailer, it just about qualifies as a game, should be the singular accolade. Do try Rollerdrome. We can try and beat each other's scores like in the good old days. Did you ever play Neon White? That was a good high score game. It wasn't a good game besides the high score charts though. Like, it was okay, but it was the high score charts that really made it playable, that made you want to keep going. Specifically trying to beat Jeff Grubb's ridiculous times on it on certain levels. Yeah, Neon White was a good high score game because it's just it was packed in with little levels that take like 11 seconds if you're good, and you literally just had to try and beat very short time limits, executing particular tricks and shortcuts with maximum efficiency, and if it didn't work, just immediately loading and trying again until you got it. You got to try Small Land out. You're hoping that it's as good as Grounded. I'm aware of Small Land. Chronic, you're a fan of Grounded, are you? Do the updates that they bring to Grounded like make you go back to it, or is it a game that you feel like you finished and moved on from? You keep meaning to get around to Neon White. What platform do you have Neon White on, Tom? If it's on Steam, make sure that we're friends, so that at least for the initial levels you'll have my times to play with, or scores, or however that game tallies it up. I can't remember. I think it's just times. You let out a long sigh every time you reach a beach and crab enemies come up. You could play a crab game. If you don't know if you could play a crab game after fishing for them all day, even though you do like Souls. Yeah, okay. Here's a game that I choose to ignore. There's too much on the screen. Even if there's a good game there, the made for mobile UI is enough to stop me from playing it. Game being shown now is fun. Pepper Grinder. You played the demo during Next Fest. Oh, the one from the Sonic Mania devs. I had heard that they're very capable as a platform dev, and like not to write that one off. I can't believe Kingdom Come Deliverance is coming out on the Switch. That game didn't do that well on any other platform really, but it's not light, and it wasn't that technically accomplished, so that's gonna look smudgy on the Switch. Demon Slayer guitar game, okay. Makes no sense to me. Wee boy Moomins, oh fuck, should have put them on the thumbnail. You're devastated you didn't see them. What Moomins? There weren't actual Moomins. There was Kingdom Come Deliverance running at like 6 frames per second. Moomins? No, there wasn't Moomins. Haven't played Pentiment yet. I haven't played frickin' Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2 yet. I'm running out of time. I have no right to talk about games when I have so many that I haven't played. You should all dismiss my opinions on Brotato until I'm a real gamer. Bah. Coming to Nintendo Switch Online. Some of the old rare stuff. Bum 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 bum. Pentiment is available tomorrow on the Switch. It is. I wouldn't play it on the Switch. I would play it probably on the Xbox actually. It's one of those that's definitely not going to benefit from being on a more powerful PC or whatever. Like the Xbox version would be just fine. But I don't know. Pentiment. Not before Pillars of Eternity. I need to get the 2 Pillars of Eternity games done before Avowed so that I can get the most out of Avowed. Not Moomins, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Snufkin. Right, hold on. Hold on. Can I copy that from here? I can. I can. Moomins... I don't want it to be Moomins because... Oh, it frickin' is too. Oh, it frickin' is too. How did I miss that? Nightmares. Can't believe this. I managed to not see this during the actual trailer. Moomins is my childhood fear. I can't believe they're bringing them to a game now that I'm however old I am today. My voice just malfunctioned on Discord. I should think so. That's the impact of the fucking ghost hippos. This is the worst. Why are you showing me ghost hippos? You're not. I did this to myself. I hated them so much. I'm talking about when I was like 3. How about that new merch, Darge? You'll be modelling that soon, will you now? What have you gone for? Telling you the premium t-shirts are the ones. I hope so anyway, they're supposed to be. You used to watch it when you were little. By choice, Baz, or because you had been naughty? Oh, it's a shame, because I like this hand-drawn style that this game has. But then the frickin' Moomins appear. No. I'm not still scared of Moomins, to be clear, but I'm not going to inflict them on myself on purpose. Because you were poor. Yeah, same. That was the reason. Like, that's our common thread that means we had Moomins inflicted upon us. But who dished out this punishment for the poor? Why did we have ghost hippos inflicted upon us? They were ghost hippos, Tom. Nothing like that. Can I get you a knee-length silk dress? I can't remember quite how tall you are, Dodge. You're going to have to send me the measurements. But we can see about that. Never heard of Moomins. No, they wouldn't have made it outside of the slums in this country. Torture for the poor people of England. Apparently. Let's do The other thing that happened today, and then we'll do the questions, right? Somehow, without any topics, we're doing it. Everything's working out. So, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree. There's not a lot to say about it. I just want to show the trailer because it was quite nice. Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree. Trailer, not you. Yeah, you. Bandai Namco, it's your game. You can have the trailer. My birthday is September 20th? No. Doesn't Elden Ring look stunning? Despite not looking stunning. This isn't news. You've all played it. You all know. It's not even the creatures. The creatures are really distinct and weird, right? Good job on them. But it's when it shows things like castles and stuff. Castles are in so many games. Like this scene here. I'm going to pause it. Castles are in so many games, right? You got Elder Scrolls and all the rest of it. This kind of landscape is common high fantasy though. There's nothing that gives them any right to make it look this good. And you look at the ground, it's not like they've got fancy textures. This isn't the best grass I've ever seen in a video game. But something about the composition of the scene that I don't understand because I don't have taste in my eyeballs. I'm terrible at that. But something about the way the light beams down and the contrast between sky and ground, like it being so dark here, it looks freaking incredible all over the place. And it's not just carefully shot for trailer looks incredible. When you actually play the game and look around the landscapes, it's just you constantly see that everywhere. So look at it. Why does it look so good? So I have to play. I have to get through Elden Ring. And I don't... this isn't like... So Final Fantasy Rebirth, I avoid all the trailers entirely because I don't want spoilers. Elden Ring, for me, I don't care for the story. It might as well not be there. It's not telling me a story. People will argue otherwise, but there's all sorts of stuff going on if you read into it. Look at it! But for me... I'm not attentive enough to have picked up on the story of it, so you can spoil it for me, it's just fine. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone else, that would be rude, but I don't need to avoid this trailer. It's not the enemy design that does it for me, it's the landscapes and the world. The enemies just look weird and I don't really understand their hair, but... well, weird isn't bad, but, you know. You're definitely going to jump back in when the DLC comes out. You're only missing a few trophies. Oh, a big yawn. There's lots of player character looking very powerful moments in this. And I saw, I'm one of the few subscribers to Replicant's channel. I saw you killing some dragon thing in 3 spells or whatever it was, Replicant. Which, I think you said that was a faith build, and I'm kind of concerned that I might accidentally stumble into a build like that. Because I'm not trying to make a massively overpowered build. I just want my stylish flail thing. But... so if you got a bump on your nose or a lump on your toes, then don't despair. What if you got a bump on your toes and a lump on your nose? Or a bump on your nose and a lump on your nose? Maybe the raggy dolls have never really experienced pain and should shut the fuck up. Huh? Did they think about that when they wrote their stupid little theme song? You distracted me. Elden Ring. You were showing that on Discord. I know you were, Replicant. I followed the link and became your 3rd subscriber. Which, by the way, anyone that is... I know you're not particularly trying to build a YouTube channel, but when people are... talk about it a little bit in the Discord. I've got that rule in there about self-promotion to stop someone from coming in and being like a fuckwit. But none of you are fuckwits. You're not exploiting my good manners, so feel free to talk about the stuff that you're doing to, you know, I'll tell you if it gets annoying. So, faith is super powerful everywhere outside of the capital. I don't even know what capital you're referring to. That's how far I've got. I'm less faith build now because, like I say, I spec towards dexterity and my flail. I like the flail. You think about that song all the time. Huh. I can't say that I do, or that I ever watched the Raggy Dolls. I think my dad probably did. Right. That's Elden Ring. I don't know what else I can say about Elden Ring, because everybody knows. You've all seen the trailer. You'll kind of know if you're into Souls games or not, if you're into Elden Ring or not. You've had that FOMO lorded over you when the game came out, and you've either resisted it or you've fallen into it. So there it is. Quick question though for people there, Elden Ring super fans or people that are halfway through like me. When the DLC comes out, do you reckon you're going to pick up your previous characters and tackle it from there? Or are you thinking I'm going to make someone, like I'm going to make a new character either immediately before it comes out or when it comes out? Patrick, your question is Elden Ring related if I want to do that and get it out of the way. Yeah, let's use Patrick's question to smoothly segue. I don't like that word anymore. I don't want to segue. We're going to use Patrick's question to just smoothly transition over to... No, I don't like that one either. No, we'll stick with segue for a little bit. We're going to segue to the questions. Isla, could you please find Patrick's question? I'm going to bring my little chat thing over here so I can see it. Oh, I forgot. This is streaming on Twitch as well. Nobody said anything on Twitch. Where are you, Twitch people? How rude. Oh, I'm probably streaming to some random... maybe Arizona Sunshine or Enshrouded. Something like that. Some weird category. Doesn't matter. So, Patrick has asked... with the access point to the Elden Ring DLC being in an end game area, do you think FromSoft should make that well known so people aren't buying something they may never be able to get to? That is a good question, Patrick, because I wondered. People were talking about spoilers in the Discord and like which ending is going to be canon, but what you're saying there suggests that the content isn't necessarily post-game content, right? But it's going to take some time to get to. It definitely would make sense to make that known. How did CD Projekt Red handle it with Phantom Liberty? How clear did they make it to people? How clear can you get that messaging through? The thing with DLC is normally the audience for DLC are the people that are quite in tune with gaming news and stuff anyway. So I would assume they can make it fairly well known by just talking about it. I don't know where you got the information from. I don't think it was referenced in the trailer, was it? Yes, they probably should at least have some kind of warning when going to check out. I'm assuming it's digital only, although there's a complete edition, isn't there? I assume if you just want the DLC, it's going to be digital only. There should be notices there. What was in the trailer, was it? Did it say it, or do you just recognize it because you've been there? There should be notices when checking out to say that you not only need the base game, but also need to have progressed a fair way to access any of this content. Yeah, difficult one though for them to get that across, because obviously they don't want to lead front foot marketing beat telling you reasons not to buy the DLC. So I doubt their intention is to trick people either though. So you'd pay 70 if they asked it, Baz Cryptkeeper. Is there, this is a wild off-topic tangent of a question, are there any games or content packs that someone would pay like 100 quid for, or we'll say $100, or 150 Canadian dollars because everything's more expensive there? Are there any like wish list kind of games that you'd pay way above the frowned upon $70 70 money's retail price to get your hands on this special thing? Baz, you would pay more for GTA 6, that's very honest of you. Replicant, yes, you'd pay more. I'm asking because everyone's very like anti $70 70 money games, which I'm a consumer. I want things to be as cheap as possible. I say that often and frequently. But there are definitely things that yeah, you can charge me what you want. Realistically, I'm going to pay for it. I don't have any money, but I'll find a way. I'd pay more than 70 just to get Gran Turismo on PC VR. And that's like that's a weak example because I've already got Gran Turismo on PlayStation VR, but it's just certain things that you're like, that will be so freaking cool. Of course I'm going to get it. Give it to me. Please don't listen, Sony, Microsoft, or anybody else, and take this as an indication that I want your games to be more expensive. Because I don't. Patrick, you think digitally downloaded games should be 50 or less? I still think frequently, I mean, Helldivers wouldn't be anywhere near as successful as it is if it cost 70, right? There's an equation to follow that's being completely missed, whereby games actually sell an awful lot more at a lower price, like enough to offset the losses. Panzer Dragoon Saga remake, more than that, Replicant. Of course, more than that. Have to find a way. Panzer Dragoon Saga remake VR. Maybe not my children. I'm not going to give away my children, but most other things I'd be willing to give away. So I can't remember what question I was just going to get to. If they made a sequel to Nier, then you would play loads of, yeah, the Halo campaign content. But yeah, the issue with games selling more if they were a lot cheaper is that, of course, if you start selling a game really expensive, you can then sell it cheaper as well. You do get to kind of have a bite of both price points, but typically I think frequently the 70 retail price is a mistake. And if it's because physical games, then decouple the damn prices, charge loads of money for physical games. So be it. You were going to say a Saga remake and you never played the original. So good, Tom. It's so good. It is too hard to play now. Sharp enough to cut your eyeballs. Like, in a bad way. You used to buy the Vault edition for the girlfriend that was £100. Oh, Matoni, what up? How you doing? You were actually excited to see the Flintock gameplay. Where was that? I didn't see that. Was that on IGN's showcase? And yes, that is a day one on Game Pass game. I think the trailers that they showed earlier last year were a bit rough. This is an annoying IST that's playing right now. What have we got? Okay, there's a trailer. Flintock, the Siege of Dawn. There was a trailer 2 months ago, 4 hours ago. Here we go. Let's do this one. We'll have a little look at this before we do the next question. Somewhere in an alternate universe or simulation, they got the Saga remake instead of Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, in a world where Sega didn't totally shit the bed all over the place. There's a more viable alternate parallel universe where we got a Lost Odyssey remake in that vein. Whoa. Got an axe, but you're choosing to kick him instead. Bad decision. It's not filling me with optimism. I'm not writing it off. It's not filling me with optimism either. Oh, but now that I see you can get a spiky hat and shoulders, now I'm filled with optimism. Have I seen Pacific Driver yet? That looks interesting. I've not really I saw like trailers of it when it looked like a game where you drive around through ridiculously hazardous conditions, and I liked the look of that. I'm not feeling Flintock, I'll be honest. It's a weird choice of trailer to have the player seemingly be really bad at the game. I hope they... I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit. Let's see. Oh no, this is the whole trailer. Go on, show me a different environment. He's on Game Pass. What's the OST? You can't hear it. Nobody's guessed the OST yet, so I can't tell you until we've done the questions. Patrick, you think that's the beginning of the game? It seemed to have at least like 2 different armor sets, so that monster looks like it has a ball bag for a face. I was not paying that much attention, Baz, but I take your word for it. Sing it for you. Hang on. I don't know it well enough. It's not got like a thread that I can cling to sing for you. Otherwise I would have done. As you know, I frequently like sing bits and pieces from Baldur's Gate, but I can't on this. So Blake Carter asked, I've been playing Helldivers 2. When can I get on their servers? I wish I knew the answer, Blake. They are taking a while to fix it. I've also been trying to play it and been unable to connect. Waste of time, that. Waste of time. Still not sure how long I'm going to be interested in that game when it does start working, but I'm telling you, you see a ton of negative comments for it. Whoever played it wasn't the best, but you weren't burnt out on Forsaken or the like, so you'll give it a chance. The UE5 rock environments do look boring. Is that a UE5 game? I wouldn't have guessed from looking. Sing a mariachi song for you. No, Tony. Until Xbox gets it. Hang about, Baz. Until Xbox gets what? Oh, you never tried Forspoken? I think any association between that game and Forspoken is a misstep. They don't look similar in pacing, feel, world, or any of the rest of it. Like, they're not similar games. I dare say Forspoken might be better than Flintock, despite its own array of problems. Flintock looked like it was trying to have the more of a God of War feel to the combat in terms of weight and pace, and I really like the combat in God of War, but Flintock didn't look like it actually executes it properly. And I could be completely wrong. Like, I'm watching someone play and seemingly play quite badly in a very underwhelming environment. So yeah, maybe there's more to that game. I don't want to write it off, especially when it's going to be sitting there on Game Pass to try. But at the moment, if we're talking Game of the Year, it's not looking like it's going to be in contention against Dragon's Dogma and the like, you know. Lots of wings and pancakes. Next question, episode 13 has asked, how successfully do you think the multiplayer games like Grounded and Sea of Thieves are going to be on PlayStation 5? I don't feel the community around these games will be duplicated on their side. More players is good. I wouldn't expect the community to be duplicated. One, because the game is on Game Pass, so people on Xbox and PC don't actually have to pay for it. And two, because the big like social wave around these games has passed. So it's not going to hit the same level of like word of mouth and zeitgeist style viral marketing and hype. But Microsoft obviously think it's going to do well enough to be worth spending a bit of money and porting it over there. I don't think they'll do terribly. Particularly Sea of Thieves, I don't think will do will do terribly. I don't know, they've not mentioned Grounded being a PlayStation 5 game yet. That's just a Switch game at the moment, which seems to be a nice fit for that platform if it works well. Sea of Thieves is presumably, I think the Xbox version I saw was like 25 quid or something. So if they're selling it for that kind of price when it lands on PlayStation, it will get some reasonable audience. It's not going to be the 20-25 million people that have already played it, but it'll probably do alright for itself. And Tony, you're surprised that Hi-Fi Rush isn't going to Switch, at least for now. Yeah, the split between the games was unexpected. And I don't know if it's just like who they've spoken to for where they're going to market various things and all the rest of it, and actually they're all going to go everywhere, or if they are trying 2 games on each platform. But yeah, I would have thought that Hi-Fi Rush would fit on a Switch quite nicely, but Replicant, you think Sea of Thieves could do reasonably well? You're unsure about Grounded. It seems to sit nicely with a Nintendo audience, and it has crossplay with the Xbox and PC versions of it, so yeah, it might do alright over there. Replicant, yeah, Xbox must have done some market research and crunched the numbers. It's definitely going to be driven by data, and they're going to have their expectations, aren't they? But Bitlyrist, when do we see their new PC-only games go multi-platform? As in things like Ara, like the stuff that Microsoft have done PC-only, when does that go multi-platform? Bringing those to Xbox has to take priority over bringing them elsewhere, right? So I don't know. Don't know the answer to that bit, Lyrist. I'm surprised that they do let PC only go through their first party wing, like Outfit. I'm surprised that they are publishing Ara and not insisting on an Xbox version at the same time, but yeah, not like surprise, you know, because it's been going on for a while, but don't know the answer or the logic and motivation on that one. Gaming with Passion, you don't think Hi-Fi Rush can run on the Switch? You bet it'll be on the Switch too. There's not a native Xbox One version of it, is there? Or is there? Is Hi-Fi Rush cloud only on the older consoles? It's a difficult one. This is the same thing with Grounded for me. Like, you can't always look at a game and just recognize where the resources are strained, and a game like Hi-Fi Rush that has such a distinct art style is potentially deceiving on performance, but at the same time I'm a bit surprised that one doesn't run on the Switch. So a World of Warcraft, probably never. World of Warcraft is a tricky one. You're really hoping that Arrow will be stunning. So am I, Pete. I'm really hoping that Flintock will be stunning. I'm not expecting it, but you never know. Why is there a stupid little flute playing in my ear? The OST for today is Tales of Horizon. Some of it's been quite good, and this might be very fitting in the game, but it's quite annoying in my ears right now. So, episode 13. Talk to more of your PlayStation owning buddies. Ask if they're going to play Sea of Thieves. Ask if they'll play Sea of Thieves with you. Ask if you can touch their DualSense. Maybe you'll get along even better. Next question, please. Tony, you really think the Phil pushed to have Game Pass on rival consoles, but they didn't want the next best thing is to bring it full price to their consoles? Nah. They would love to put Game Pass on other consoles, but it's not just the other consoles that will be resistant to it. They also have to navigate every third party that they license games from for that service, which is easier said than done. That there's reasons that we don't have cross-play and cross-progression and cross-buy all over the place. Publishers are quite funny about what kind of licenses they're actually letting people access. So there's a lot of challenges around getting Game Pass on other platforms. I'm very surprised that you can't get Game Pass on Steam, because it looked like EA had already laid all of the groundwork for subscription services over there. But it's not to be. I think a big part of the strategy and the movement to sell more games is based on the fact that Game Pass isn't growing anymore. Microsoft, at some point over the last couple of years, they really, like, noticeably, from the outside, they very noticeably pivoted their messaging away from Game Pass. They still talk about it a lot, but if you watched an Xbox showcase from like 2020, the whole thing was Game Pass. Like, here are 30 games and all of them are on Game Pass, and we're going to put it on every splash. Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass. And you watch their more recent stuff, and they still mention Game Pass sometimes, but sometimes they don't. They've taken a step back and made it a part of their offering more so than it was their whole offering, because they've recognized that actually the industry is going to stay. It's forcing them into diverse revenue streams, and is in their best interest to do it. I've seen some stuff around today, people saying, oh, everything's changed so much since 2020, 2021 or whatever. Nothing has changed since 2021 really, in terms of the industry as a whole, but they are learning. They are learning what works best for them and how to make the most money. That's the important thing. Gotta make the most money. The EA app is trash. Can't do anything. Not even invite people to play co-op games. Oh, you're mad because you've been trying to play A Way Out. And you're doing it on PC through the EA app. It's funny, Tony. You're my current, like, example case or anecdotal evidence guy for when people say that, like, oh, everyone should go on PC. The consoles are dead and useless. I'd be like, yeah. But Tony tried to play Returnal and he had to disable his Windows audio in order to launch the game. Tony tried to play A Way Out on EA and couldn't invite Patrick. Like, yes, PCs can be a really nice, seamless experience where you plug it in and you play, but they're not always. Consoles, yeah, Tony's Ascent crashes all the time. So, yeah. There are some issues still. Like, consoles definitely still have a place for people that just want to relax and play a game without that shit going on. I like PC, but some people are kidding themselves entirely. Okay. Oh wait, there's the next question. Hang about. This is from Tony. Will the zipper hoodie have superpowers so I can be as good as you in FPS games? Tony, I don't know how to take this question because you're constantly reminding me that I'm bad at FPS games and that you're the best and you're brilliant. So the zipper hoodie is not going to help you in that regard. I hope it's a nice, comfortable, high quality, durable material and you love it. But it's not going to help with the FPS games. Tom has asked, do you think that the data that devs have on how many people pick evil dialogue choices in RPGs, very low percentage on the Mass Effect trilogy, will be changing much in RPG game design? As in, do I think people are getting progressively more evil? Or do I think that they're taking that data and changing much with regards to design? The problem with evil playthroughs normally in RPGs that branch and give you evil playthroughs, ordinarily the character that you are playing is actually the hero of the story. And if you choose an evil playthrough, usually you still have to be the hero of the story. And the writing is just, as a consequence, not as good. It's more forced. Because you still need to follow the central plot line ultimately, no matter, like, you can have some deviations and things like that, but you play, like, Infamous was terrible for it. You do awful evil things, but the outcome still needs to be the good outcome, really. You still need to progress to the next part as the hero of the story. And it all feels very soft and like you've just chosen the fake option if you go evil. And there will be exceptions. There will be, obviously with game writing, there's going to be some that are more talented than others, and there's going to be good examples and bad examples. I think one problem going forwards is probably that a deviating storyline and deviating dialogue options and character choices is only going to be playing into higher budgets, which is clearly a problem at the moment. So I'm not sure that we're going to see any vast improvements on that for a little while. I'm also, like, it can be very shallow having dialogue choices written to cater for good or evil is ultimately not particularly reflective of real life, not particularly relatable, because we don't really work in terms of good and evil in that sense. So more subtlety, more sophisticated writing. There's a lot of potential for that kind of stuff to improve over time, but I'm not sure that massive changes are on the horizon, because there's not really any like technological answer to improve that side of things outside of potentially AI scripting and conversations, you know, pie in the sky stuff at the moment. Danny Passion Official has asked, well, not really a question, I've played over 300 hours of Elden Ring and can't wait for the DLC. That is rookie numbers. It's way more than I've played it, but good, Danny Passion Official. I don't know if you're still here, but if you are, I'm looking forward to you playing the Elden Ring DLC, because it sounds like you're gonna have a good time. Joe asked, send him an Alex, don't send me an invitation, you cannot jump in. That's an in-joke for anyone wondering, from our community stream on Sunday, which was brilliant fun. We had a lot of chaos. We had like 12-13 people in the Discord, player multiplayer, and Alex constantly saying that he'd sent me an invitation in a way that you could only laugh at. Yeah, there'll be more community streaming on Sunday. I'm hoping, if I get around to setting it up, we might have Mario Kart and Halo this weekend. There's also every chance it all falls apart and we go back to the Rocket League Forza defaults, but Tom has asked, it's a week off of simulation theory and existential questions, as he's tired. Are you really tired though? Can you be tired in a simulation? Yes, you can. Next question, please. Tony loves troubleshooting. He doesn't. And tweaking settings and stuff is never going to be fun for everyone. It's not fun for me, and I love PC gaming. Replicant, your Steam backlog is out of control. You need an intervention. You managed to get through games really efficiently as well, so if yours is out of control, there's no hope for any of us. Plus side though, Replicant, you've got that as a safety net. If Sony shit the bed and Microsoft turn super evil and Nintendo skip ahead 30 years and also turn super evil, you got that backlog to keep you company for the rest of your life, right? Never ever going to be short of good things to play. So that's the plus side. Downside is realistically we're all going to die before playing most of these things. Very sad. Replicant, did I see the PlayStation 5 Pro article about Sony implementing AI upscaling for 120 frames per second 4K? I had seen earlier rumors that one of the key features of the Pro was an AI chip specifically for upscaling and things like that. It's a plausible rumor. 120 frames per second on 4K is like stupid marketing numbers that I doubt they're particularly shooting for, but in general, if it has a good stab at upscaling, and I'm not a big fan of frame generation myself, and I'm not sure that Sony are going to be the ones to particularly crack that technology, especially if it's like, if they just end up working with AMD and give us FSR 3, then frame gen is in a weird place in terms of compatibility with different display technologies, but the potential for the PlayStation 5 Pro to have some kind of upscaling to make it punch well above its weight, very high. I think that's the plan for the next wave of consoles. It's plausible, right? It didn't mention frame gen. I reckon, I mean, if they're targeting 4K and 120 frames per second, they're not hitting 120 frames per second remotely consistently without it being frame gen. And I know that it didn't mention frame gen, but that's their only hope, because the specs that we've seen aren't a big enough jump to cut rendering time by that to that extent. So either of those numbers are completely like the 8K on the PlayStation 5 box, complete nonsense, or it is upscaling and frame gen. But upscaling and frame gen, we know that those technologies exist and make sense, so it's plausible. Replicant has asked, the Final Fantasy XIV Xbox beta has started. How well do you think it will do once launched? You're unsure. The sub's not going to be included within Game Pass, which many will expect, and will not pay 12 quid per month. Yeah, subscription games. That's not like, that's again not unique to Xbox. Subscriptions have been maligned forever. When I used to play like Asheron's Call 2 before World of Warcraft even existed, nobody believed that anybody would play games with a subscription service. Some people chased it, but they were tiny niche markets. And World of Warcraft kind of changed and challenged that, but it's still, they still sit in a weird place where it's hard to envisage people going, wow, I'm going to pay £12 a month for this one game. That seems like good value next to £12 a month for these 500 games. In reality, for some people, it is just as good value-wise, because they'll subscribe to their one game and they'll put in hundreds of hours in like each month. But yeah, it's a surprise that Final Fantasy XIV did well on the PlayStation in the first place. Obviously, the IP is also stronger on the PlayStation side and the PC side than it is with Xbox. I don't think Final Fantasy massively resonates or sees success on Xbox anyway. So, yeah, I don't think it'll be huge. It's one of those things where the thing that will get it is if the free trial is good and people jump on it at the same time. So if it comes out like in this beta or when it actually launches and a bunch of people say, hey, let's try that with their friends, then maybe those MMO hooks will really get under the skin and keep some people playing. But Final Fantasy XI MMO was on PS2, yeah. Yeah, I played a little bit of that. Are you going to play it, Replicant? Do you play Final Fantasy XIV? I know you do World of Warcraft and many other things. I've seen you playing SWTOR as well. Star Wars. Old Republic stuff. I've had Final Fantasy XIV on 2 separate occasions on the PC side of it, but fell off it hard. So you did try it. Did you fall off of it in the end game though, or did you fall off of it during the leveling experience like I did? And while you're answering that, oh, the next question is already there. Tony has asked, why do Xbox 360 and older games require a login to my account? Like T-Rex wants to play Lego Indiana Jones, and then it forces him to log into my account. From the disc, Tony, or from the digital download? It's because it's all not been re-engineered. It's the online digital storefront, and as Microsoft would say, their entitlement system of digital licensing is still rooted in the past. It doesn't share out in the same way as games do now. The licenses just don't very easily translate over to Microsoft's modern systems, so they just leave them where they are. So basically, your gamer score is null and void. You let T-Rex get some Lego Indiana Jones achievement points, and now your account is forfeit. Sorry, Tony. Next question, please. Isla's asked, does ACG like SNK/AOT? Attack on Titan? Super Nintendo Kong. What? I don't think ACG is an anime kind of person. But I might be wrong. I've not heard him talk about anime. I'm not sure if this is anime. I don't think you're going to be talking. His stream intro looks like the rumbling. No, it's not related to the rumbling. I get you, but no, it's not. No, Tom, that wouldn't have been rude. We could have had a bigger audience. This is how we recruit new badgers. We blare the stream out everywhere we go to everyone with ears. Snakes negate kebabs, do they? Final Fantasy, you keep trying it, you like it, and then you just go back to World of Warcraft, but you're on a World of Warcraft now. When is Zomboid? Advertise it. Who wants to play Zomboid tomorrow? Oh, I see. Proper name for Attack on Titan. Okay, you're just trying to flex and show off that you used the wrong name. No, I'm pretty sure that he didn't take it from that. Who wants to play Zomboid? Project Zomboid. Been in early access since 2013. Server support is like 126 people. Cool, nobody. Next question, please. How many monies is Zomboid? If you go to like CD keys or something, it's about £4. You get it on Steam, it's more like 20, but it's all over key sites for much cheap. And we've run out of questions, and it's midnight, which is illegal. This was supposed to be an hour and a half. So, yes, to me, you mentioned that you were there for Zomboid. Crimes, illegal crimes? What kind of illegal crimes? What kind of illegal crimes? Patrick, you'll pick it up, but you're not sure if you'll be able to play tomorrow. That's fine. I don't think it necessarily needs everyone to appear at the same time. I think once the server's up and running, like Power World and like Enshrouded, it'll just be there for people to play whenever they want. Isla, you're going to make characters from other stuff so that you feel better about it when they get turned or exploded. You can explode people, right? I'm going to explode people. You would love more Power World people. I'm trying, Patrick. You're trying. You keep on gifting these memberships everywhere. It's always just you now. Oh, that's really sad. I'm going to jump on Power World with you at some point. Not now, because it's bedtime. But it won't be just you, Patrick. We'll get people on there again. If you took a gift membership from Patrick, you're obliged to play Power World with him. Them's the rules. You can spawn on fire. Awesome. Anyway, that's the end of Q&Asa today. So everybody, thank you for coming along and talking to me. Like I say, I came into this completely unprepared, and it's easy because you'll carry the conversation for me. Then what we'll do is tomorrow has the Xbox Series podcast. That's at 8 o'clock. In the UK, at least, it's at 8 o'clock, which means there might be some time for some other kind of special gaming session at the end of it. We shall see. Once the Xbox, yes, Patrick, once the Xbox crossplay or the Game Pass version crossplay comes along, suddenly Power World will be booming. And once Tony finishes up the Ascent. That's the end for today. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your evenings and your sleep and your games. Xbox Series podcast tomorrow. Streams all over the place. Community stream on Sunday. All of the usual things happening. And bleh.
Asa. Game on Daily.